Good morning and welcome to House of Joy, where the joy of the Lord is our strength. And right now, during the month of February, we are just really delving into Isaiah 58. And it starts off in the part that we're learning in verse 6. It goes 6 to 14. And it says, "Is this not the fast I have chosen, to loose the bonds of wickedness?" You know, one of the things that we're supposed to be doing is helping people get past all the dark things in their life and to just rescue. And it says, and to loose the bonds of wickedness and to undo heavy burdens. Mm-hmm. Have you got a heavy burden? Does someone in your family have a heavy burden? Are they dealing with drug addiction, dealing with bad relationships, alcoholism, pornography, homosexuality, any of these things that are just pulling the life out of them, out of who they actually are, who they actually were, and we're supposed to be helping undo that. Mm-hmm. We have so much to do. It says to let the oppressed go free and to break every yoke and to share your bread with the hungry. And it goes on to talk about, you know, taking in people that don't have a home, and it talks about not turning away from your flesh. We can sometimes get so offended with our own family members that we cut them off. And that's not what God wants us to do. No. He wants us to be repairers. It goes on to say, repairers of the breach. You know, we're supposed to build up the places that were broken down in our families and in our lives and in the lives of those in our community and the people that we're in contact with every day. That's why we say the joy of the Lord is our strength. It's not our ability. It's not our goodness. It's not our righteousness. It's the joy of knowing that God can do all of those things through us. Because Philippians says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So we're excited about what God's doing right now at House of Joy.
Yes, indeed. I'm going to actually be kind of zeroing in on that a little bit this morning. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be talking about man and his natural fear of extravagance. You know? We try to build extravagance for ourselves. We try and do this Tower of Babel thing, where we try and come up with our own definition of extravagance, and it falls so short of what God's glory is, what God's presence is in our life. That's what true extravagance is. And you know, in Proverbs, actually, it says that the fear of man brings a snare. Mm-hmm. Fear of man brings a snare.
Yes, it does.
Now, of all the kinds of fears you got, right? You got fear of heights, you got fear of depth, you got fear of closed-in places, you know.
Spiders,
you got
snakes.
Fear of spiders, snakes, fear of falling, fear of
dying.
Heights, dying, yeah. We got all kind of fears out there, you know, but the truth of the matter is that none of those have a biblical connection to a consequence like the fear of man. And if you really take it back and you kind of extrapolate everything to the other direction, then the fear of man is actually the root of all the other fears in this life. You know, I mean, every other fear that you can experience is somehow rooted to the fear of man, and the fear of man brings a snare, a trap. Yeah. You know, and if you've ever seen a trap before that catches a rabbit or a raccoon or whatever it is you're trapping, you know that once you get in that trap, then the real panic starts, right? I mean, those things are like they're going crazy in there because they're like, okay, something's wrong. I can't move like I used to move. I can't function like I used to function. That's what a snare does. A snare puts you in a place where all of your fears are conglomerate. All of your fears come together. So the fear of man is a snare. When man begins to control your emotions, when he begins to control your intellect, when he begins to control your spirit man, then you're in a place where you have become ensnared in the things of this world. Well, what does God's extravagance say? God's extravagance releases freedom over our lives. God's extravagance is exactly the opposite of what the fear of man brings. The fear of man brings a snare. The extravagance of God brings freedom. He whom the Son sets free is
free indeed.
Free indeed, right.
Yeah.
And so this morning I'm going to be talking about the fear of extravagance, because when you get down to it, that's what man is most afraid of. He's most afraid of approaching the person that he should not be the most afraid to approach. It should be the one that he runs to, and that is our extravagant God, who has all of the wonderful things for us. 10 o'clock this morning at House of Joy Church, 1510 Lindbergh Drive. And if you'd like to catch up with us on the web, you can do that on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. We're all over the place. And you can catch our videos like this one all the time. Or you can go back in some of our archives on YouTube and check out some of the ones, or TikTok. You can go back in our archives and watch literally hundreds of broadcasts just like this, and just to encourage your day a little bit. They're 5 minutes of the power of God that can come right there into wherever you are with using your smart device, phone, TV, whatever. So, hey, look, if you'd like to sow a seed into House of Joy, you can do that by going to paypal.me/Joy Fellowship Church. I'll give you that again. That's paypal.me/Joy Fellowship Church. It'll take you right to our nonprofit giving page where you can sow a gift, tithe, offering, whatever you choose to do. It's tax deductible.
Yep.
Hey, listen, we thank you for being with us. We love you. God bless you. Have an amazing God-filled day. See you soon.